Hello everybody. In today's video, I have three big important points for you that we're going to cover today. One is what is enabling versus what is empowering. So we're going to talk about enabling, empowering. And the third is how can you use yoga as a means to discover the depths of how you're empowering others or yourself or enabling others or yourself to get you to the next level. Welcome. Let's get started. If you are new to this channel, please support the channel by liking or subscribing to the video. That's the best way to allow the content to continue to be created and get out to everyone who may need this. And leave a comment down below. So welcome to my channel. My name is Justin, and it's so good to have you joining us or welcoming back. In this channel, we focus on how to create strength and freedom through yoga. And that doesn't always mean the physical practice of yoga. That also means the mental practice of yoga, the yoga we're doing off our mats, the way we're living. How can we empower ourselves? There's the key word, empower. How can we empower ourselves to become more free, to garner strength, to garner more freedom? Because ultimately, this channel is all about that and getting joy out of your life. If that's what you're looking for, stay tuned. We're going to get started right now. First, I want to read to you the Webster Dictionary definition of the word enabling. So this is the definition: to make someone or something able to do or to be something. That's the definition of enabling. So I'd like to talk a little bit about what enabling means. And we know the definition, but how does it impact us on a day-to-day basis? So there's lots of ways that we could be enabling someone. And I want to preface this by saying that a lot of the times we don't always realize we're enabling somebody else. But when we take a step back and look at what is happening in the other person's behavior and then how we are behaving towards them, we can determine if we are enabling. Because I truly believe that every relationship and every interaction that you have, that I have, that we all have, there is an intent behind the interaction, right? There's always an intent. So whatever your intent may be, if your intent is pure and your intent is self-love, self-growth, helping others grow and helping others succeed, you're not really enabling, you're empowering them. So we'll talk more about empowering in a moment, but I want to return to enabling. What are some common examples of enabling? Well, we know these probably, right? We can enable physical abuse. We might enable child abuse. We might be enabling drug or alcohol use. You might be enabling someone who is problems eating a lot. Maybe they're exercising a ton. Those are some physical things that we sometimes think of. And a lot of times when we think of an enabler, we think of someone who might be enabling, unfortunately, negative. Our mind goes right to it. Drugs and alcohol is generally the first, it almost makes you think of a bartender who just keeps serving somebody a bunch of alcohol, enabling someone who might have a drinking problem. Enabling negative psychological behavior is just as important to look at as enabling physical behavior. So psychological behavior, we've talked in the past videos, and if you've not yet looked at those past videos, I will link, especially our passive aggressive series. I'm going to link the description. In the description, I will link the videos to the passive aggressive series, because if you are seeing someone else be passive aggressive and you continue to allow them to be passive aggressive, you're enabling behavior. You're enabling that behavior. So passive aggressive behavior, as I talked about in those previous videos, would be trying to deliver a message that you're going around the message, you're not directly giving it. And I believe in firm, clear, and concise communication, because other people don't know other people don't know how to communicate with you unless you tell them how to communicate with you or you show them how to communicate with you. This goes back to enabling. You are in a relationship that is full of mental abuse. And you are in this relationship that's constantly full of you're being degraded, you're being shamed, you're being undermined, you are being passively aggressively spoken to, you're being given the silent treatment. All of those things that are psychologically are psychologically damaging to another person. An example might be if you had if you were married and your ex-husband, wife, partner, whatever it might be, and it doesn't have to be a marriage, but let's say it was a close, intimate relationship, and you were emotionally abused all the time. If your friend continued to invite that person who emotionally abused you into your circle, they're enabling that behavior to continue. This happens a lot of time in work situations too, believe that or not. If you are an employer who has a toxic person working in your establishment, in your business, your corporation, whatever it is, and you continue to allow them to psychologically abuse other employees or customers or people that are coming in and out of your business, or they're on the phone or whatever that is, you are enabling toxic behavior. So it's the intent of what do I need to look at and how can I push myself forward so I'm not enabling behavior? And I'm not suggesting by any way, shape, or form that you just completely stop and you completely cut someone out of your life because they're struggling. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I am suggesting is we move more into empowering rather than enabling. In a normal, healthy relationship, you are not watching someone get hit by a bat over and over and over and over and watch them be abused and watch them suffer. It's the same emotionally. If you're watching someone emotionally suffer and you know your intent is to help them, you wouldn't bring someone in who has been in an abuse pattern with that person and continue to let that be abusive. Now, we can talk on and on about friendships and relationships and inviting people in and out and all that, and that could be for a whole nother video. But the point is, what is your intention? Or is your intent to beef up your sales in your organization? And so therefore you keep someone who's toxic in your organization to beef up your sales so you can make money, but yet all of your employees are being mentally abused. Is that what's happening? Because you're enabling abuse doing that. Money isn't everything. Your sales aren't everything. Your business will fall apart. Your personal life will fall apart if you're enabling. We sometimes see this when someone could be trauma bonded to another person. We'll do a video on trauma bonding. Trauma bonding means you're bonded to someone over something that's not authentic, over trauma. They have a hold on you. So you're addicted to them. Let's talk about how we can empower someone. Empowering is different. Empowering is giving someone tools. Empowering is is engaging in behavior that's positive. So instead of inviting negative people around who you know are toxic, who you know have been toxic, who you know have physically been toxic, mentally been toxic, instead of worrying about inviting them in here because you think you can handhold them and coddle them and everything will be okay, give them the tools. Show them what love really is. And what love really is, and communicating in a loving manner, is showing self-respect, not enabling people. Enabling others is not a sign of self-respect. It's very difficult for us to hear that sometimes, but it is absolutely true. If you are allowing behavior to continue that you know is abusive, that you know is, your gut is like, whoa, that's wrong. You are allowing the behavior, you're enabling that behavior. Instead of maybe pulling yourself back and saying, you know what? I'm going to show you what love really is. I'm going to show you what self-respect really is. So by you leading an example, and this is where the third point will come in, how we use yoga to combat this. If we're giving the tools to someone by showing, hey, this is what a real loving person acts like. This is called self-respect. This is called pure intentions with heart, right? With heart. This is a pure intention. You're empowering others. People will look at you and go, wow, he is a loving person, but man, he doesn't let that nonsense slide. Because when you don't let that kind of behavior slide, you are being empowering. But just inviting someone into your home, your place of work, wherever you are, you're not going to bring a bully to your child's soccer game that's going to bully your child. You're not going to let that happen. You're not. You want to protect your kids. You want to empower your kids. You're not going to bring poison into their life. That's enabling. Empowering would be showing someone how to take care of themselves, to stand up for themselves, to stand in their power. That's what this channel is all about. I want to talk to you. I've mentioned this before when it comes to yoga, about the yamas. There are 8 limbs of yoga, and one of the limbs of yoga is the yamas. And in yamas, one of the yamas is a Parhigraha, and a Parhigraha is all about non-attachment. And when we have the intention to not to be non-attached to something or to someone, we grow into being empowered. So if you are feeling as though you have to save people, if I just if I just invite them because I'm going to make a quick buck, or if I invite them because it's going to be good for me and it's good for my ego and it's good for my self-image, and then they come into your presence and they destroy other people or your whole surroundings with negative talk, with physical problems like physical abuse, when it's affecting your quality of life, and you let someone else continue that, you're enabling them. That's all that's happening, is you're just enabling them. I have been in, I shared this in my last video about where I've come from and where things have been in my life before. And I cannot tell you how many times that I still see to this day people all around me just enabling the heck out of everybody else, and it stinks. You step back and you remember, what is my intention in this relationship? What is my intention in these conversations? What is my intention going forward? Is it non-attachment? Is it a Parhigraha? So that I am able to back myself up and go, you know what? You're engaging in negative behavior. I am going to show you the tools. I am going to give you tools. I'm going to show you what love really is by being kind, by being loving, by showing self-respect. And unfortunately, sometimes the way that you can empower people is to remove yourself from what they're doing temporarily. It's almost like when you have an intervention for someone who is either on drugs or drinking or whatever the, maybe there's an eating problem, as I mentioned before, and everybody gets together and they do an intervention, right? And they say, we can't watch you do this anymore. We can't allow you to do this anymore because you're better than that. You are so much better than that. And we see the potential in you, and we can't watch this anymore. That's empowering. That's hard to do, but it's empowering. It's detaching yourself from their addiction so that you can show them by example that you know what self-love is. You know what self-worth is. It's very important to know what your intention is. If you are in a business, you have a mission statement behind your business. And if someone walks into your business or calls into your business or writes into your business and shifts your mission statement and bends it sideways, and you let that behavior continue, you're enabling their behavior. If you're in your home, you're with your family, and you have values and you have ethics that you uphold and you have boundaries that you withhold. No one comes into my house and puts their hands on my children. Only I do that. And if someone else puts their hands on your children and you just let that go, you're enabling it. What's your intention? Go back to your original intention. That's where yoga comes in. Yoga teaches you all of that. I have such great things I'm going to share with you over the next several weeks about confrontation. Confrontation is something that we have to sometimes go through so we don't enable other people's poor behavior. And if we back up and stop enabling poor behavior, the world changes because no one's allowing poor behavior to continue. It's when we allow behavior to continue without a consequence that the behavior continues and continues and continues and continues, and it hurts other people and you wind up losing them. We don't want that. We want love. We want compassion. We want to be together as a human race to push ourselves farther. So thank you all for watching. If you have any comments about enabling, you think you might be enabling someone, maybe you're being enabled, leave it in the comments below. I would love to see your feedback. If you have suggestions about what you'd want to see in the future, leave those in the comments. I'm more than happy to take those suggestions so I can provide you the content you're looking for. Soon we're going to be moving outside of this room and a couple different places you're going to see. I'm so excited for it. But that's to come. Thank you all for being here and joining me. My name is Justin, and I hope to see you on the next video. Namaste.